This is a demonstration on how to complete your manual payroll exercise for an employee who has gone on annual leave or holidays. This is broken into two parts. The first part of the activity we are going to complete is Colin Spaniel's wage for the week ending the 1st of January. Remember, this is his wage before he goes on holidays. I will demonstrate how to complete the holiday wage in the next part. So using his timesheet below, which we worked out a bit earlier, we're going to transfer the information from his timesheet up into his wages calculation card. So here we've worked out his normal hours, which he's worked a full working week of 37.5 hours. We've also worked his overtime. So we're going to transfer that information back up into his wages calculation card here. So we know that he worked the 37.5 hours, and we're going to fill in the amount here, which we're going to work out 37.5, and we're going to multiply or times that by $45, which is his hourly base rate here, which equals $1,687.50, which we're going to fill in here. We're also going to fill in his overtime hours. He worked 4 hours at time and a half, and we're going to work out his adjusted hours here. So again, using our calculator, we're going to 4 times or multiply by 1.5, which is time and a half, equals 6 hours becomes the adjusted. To work out his amount, we're going to multiply that by $45, which is his hourly base rate, which equals $270. Next, we're going to enter in his double time, which he worked 4 hours at double time. Again, to work out his adjusted hours, we're going to multiply the 4 times 2, which is double time, which equals 8 hours. So that becomes his adjusted hours, 8. Again, we're going to multiply that by his hourly base rate. So multiply that by 45 equals $360. Now we're going to add up these three amounts here to work out what his gross pay is. So again, we're going to add the $1,687.50 plus 270 plus 360, which equals $2,317.50, which goes in his gross pay. Next, we're going to work out his pay-as-you-go tax. Now, if this is his gross, what we need to remember also is, scrolling down to the bottom, we took a snapshot of his employee details. We know that he is claiming that tax-free threshold. So when we go across to the tax tables, we need to remember that we're going to be using this column here. Now we know his gross amount was $2,317.50, which is here, but I like to round up. But you can I would accept 673 or the 2318, which is the same amount anyway. So this is his tax here. So we're going to transfer that amount across to his wages calculation card. So I'm just going to scroll back up to the top, and we're going to fill in the amount of $673 there. Now he's also claiming a rebate or offset. Again, if I scroll down to the bottom, using that snapshot, you can see here he's claiming the housekeeper with no dependent children, and the rebate for that currently is $36. So we're going to take that off his tax. So we'll scroll back up the top, and we're going to add the $36 here. Okay, so now we're going to deduct $36 of $673. So using our calculator, we're going to 673 subtract or minus $36 equals 637, which we're going to add in here at our net tax deduction. Now, he also has other deductions that he wishes to take out of his pay. So again, if we scroll down to the bottom, you can see here that he wishes to deduct $100 to put towards his own super, and he also wants to deduct $25 for his health fund. So scrolling back up to the top, we're going to enter in the $100, and we're also going to enter in the $25 for his health insurance. Now we're going to add up all our deductions. So using the calculator, we've got 637 plus the $100 plus 25, which equals $762, which we're going to put now in our total deductions, $762. So now that we've worked out his total deductions, we need to deduct that from his gross amount up the top. So using the calculator, we have $2,317.50 minus the 762, which equals, and this becomes his net pay. So we're going to add the $1,555.50. Now to work out his super guarantee, we need to remember that it's only calculated on his normal time. It never includes any of his overtime. The exception to the rule is if he has sick pay for 1 or 2 days, we need to add this amount here and this amount here and then work out his super guarantee. But because he's only got normal time, we're going to use this amount here to work out his super. So again, using the calculator, we have $1,687.50. We're going to multiply that, times that by 9.5, which is the current super guarantee contribution rate, and then divide that by 100 because it's percent, which equals $160.31. So we're going to add that down here, $1,631. Okay, I'll just change that into red. Now we're going on to the next part, which is working out his holiday pay calculation. So this is for the next 4 weeks that he's on holiday. Okay, so to work out his normal wage, which is 4 weeks, we need to work out, so I'll grab the calculator. A normal working week is 37.5 hours, and we're going to multiply that by his hourly base rate, which is 45. So that becomes 1 week. Now we know he's going on 4 weeks annual leave, so we need to multiply that or times that by another 4 weeks. So that becomes $6,750 will be his normal wage. Okay, so that becomes $6,750. To work out his leave loading, we need to multiply this figure here, the 6,750. We're going to multiply or times that by 17.5 and then divide that by 100, which equals $1,181.25. So we're going to fill this in here. Now that we've worked out his normal wage for the 4 weeks and we've worked out his 17.5% leave loading, we're going to add them together and we're going to put that in his gross holiday pay over here. So again, using his calculator or the calculator, we're going to add 6,750 plus the $1,181.25 equals, so we're going to add $7,931.25. Now this figure is too large to use to work our tax tables down here. So what we need to do is actually break this down into a weekly figure. So that's where this part here comes in. So here we're going to work out what his normal weekly wage is. Now his normal weekly wage is, he works 37.5 hours per week, and we're going to multiply that by or times by his hourly base rate, which is 45, and that equals $1,687.50. So that is his normal weekly wage. Now to work out the leave loading, this is the leave loading for the 4 weeks. So what we need to do is actually divide that by 4. So down here we're going to use this little sheet here that's going to help us work that out. So we're going to fill in the $1,181.25 and we're going to divide that by 4 weeks. So using the calculator, we've got $1,181.25 and we're going to divide by 4 weeks, which equals $295.31. So $295.31. So this figure here needs to get transferred up to here. $295.31. Okay. Now we've worked out his normal weekly wage, and we've also worked out the leave loading on a weekly basis. So now we're going to add these two figures here together. So using the calculator again, we need to add 1,687.50 plus the 295.31 equals 1,982.81. So we're going to transfer that figure here. So now this becomes our gross amount. So now we can actually work out what tax to pay. So we're going to use this down here now. We're going to work out the figure, like the tax on 1,982.81. So I'm going to cross here to the tax tables, and we're going to find $1,983, which is here. Again, I'm going to round up, okay, and remembering that he is claiming the tax-free threshold, it becomes $543. So we're going to go back across to our document, and I'm going to put here that we've worked out his tax is $543. Now remembering he also is claiming the rebate of the housekeeper down here. Okay, so we're going to transfer that figure up to here as well. So we're going to deduct $36. So 543 minus 36, so using the calculator again, $543 minus or subtract $36 equals $507. So we know that that is the tax that he needs to deduct out of his wage. So we're going to transfer that figure up here now. So it becomes $507 that we need to deduct out of his wage. Now again, remembering this is on a weekly basis. So now we're going to transfer that information so it's on by 4 weeks now. So here we've got times week of leave, which we know is 4 weeks, equals total holiday tax. So what we need to do is multiply 4 times the 507. So using our calculator again, we have $507 times or multiply by 4 equals $2,028. So here we're going to put $2,028. Now his superannuation we know is $100 per week, so again we need to multiply that by 4 weeks. So using our calculator, we have $100 times 4 weeks equals $400. So we need to deduct another further $400. He also deducts health insurance, which we know is $25. So again, we need to multiply $25 times or multiply by the 4 weeks equals, so we need to deduct a total of $100. So now we've worked out his total deductions and multiply them all by 4. So here we need to add these 3 amounts up here again. So using our calculator, we have $2,028 plus $400 plus $100, which equals $2,528. So that becomes his total deductions, $2,528. Then to work out his net holiday pay, we need to deduct his total deductions from his gross holiday pay. So again, using our calculator, $7,931.25, which is this figure here, subtract or minus $2,528, which is this figure here, which equals, so this figure becomes the total of his holiday pay for the next 4 weeks. So now we're going to work out his super guarantee for the 4 weeks. Again, remembering we only work it out on his normal wage. We do not include his 17.5% leave loading. So we need to multiply this figure here, the 6,750, times the 9.5%, which is the current super guarantee rate. So again, using our calculator, we have 6,750, and we're going to times or multiply that by 9.5 and then divide that by 100, which equals $641.25. So that becomes the amount of money that we need to contribute, the employer needs to contribute on behalf of the employee. So now we've actually completed finishing Colin Spaniel's wage. So here, in the top part here, we've worked out his wage for the week ending the 1st of the 1st, so that is the week before he goes on holidays. And the second part, we worked out his holiday pay calculation here. So that starts from the 2nd of January, because this is the week ending the 1st. His holidays actually start from the 2nd of January, and they go for the next 4 weeks. So that's how to complete a wage and a holiday pay. Thank you very much.